All right, so we're live. It's been a little while since we did an office hours for JEP, so thanks for getting on the dock and asking to have one scheduled that meets your time zone. That helps a lot. I will add I need to add the link to the view page just for later, so we have it. There it is. Okay, so here's the video. So the topics here, I think the main thing I want to talk about that you and I should talk about is the JEP that you're working on.
Okay.
Let's take a look at that.
216.
216. Great.
Yeah.
So to give some context for anyone looking at the video, this is the JEP for the design of the localization plugin, right? Plugins,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you submitted it, and it's in draft form. And I gave some feedback in the sort of the process, in the way that we've established for doing that in this, which is adding some annotation sections, little warning sections saying, "Hey, I have this question. We should probably fill this in." And then you created a PR to address some of those questions. By the way, if you hear sirens, I live right near a firehouse. That's how that's going to go.
I already make some change, but still not create the PR.
You can add on to the existing PR, right?
But I haven't finished it. Maybe at this weekend.
Yeah, let's see if we can. Maybe that's what I was hoping we can do with this, is sort of work through the
things
I have in the.
I can send you the link. I already read something.
Okay. Do you just want to commit and push the changes that you got so far, and we can?
Yeah, maybe I just create a. Sorry. Wait a minute.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I already see PR in there.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay.
All right, so I should be able to refresh this and.
Okay, nothing. Yeah, already add something. But about the test case, I haven't add more information.
Okay. Did you add a new commit for this? Did you make changes, you said? Or
no? About the test case, I haven't added more information.
Okay. So this was changes you've got so far. So let's just go through this just in a linear fashion. You've pushed all the changes that you have, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if I do edits right here, that'll be okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Cool. So let's start with, so from the abstract, I don't think we need to, the thing about the abstract is you don't need to talk about how things were before. That would be part of the motivation. What you want to do is simply give an abstract of what this thing is designed to do. So the localization plugins separate resource files from Jenkins core and plugins, perfect. The solution, let's just say the solution provides a way to let more native speakers.
So the past tense should be in the motivative.
I'm sorry, what?
I mean,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for instance, I'm just going to take the. I was going to do that. Let me just. There it is. So pull that out. Where did I put it? There we go. So motivation.
Okay.
Previously, languages. Language. Should I say language specific? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Language files were aggregated in one place. These are some drawbacks that we. That design you wanted to press. Back to some of the details there. If I can type, there we go. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go back up here. So this solution provides, you want to speak generally in present tense as though this is what it is. Basically, when you think about that, when you think about how you write this, you want to write it as though it were already done. So it's what it's going to be described as when it's in place. So it provides a way to let more native speakers contribute localization. What are the localization files? Localization resource files? Resources more efficiently. Yeah. Also, single Jenkins running instance does not need to load all languages. And most.
Okay.
All right, so proposal suggests, okay. Here. So all languages have their own localization. What's that? Well,
suggests?
No, this proposal, well, it would be suggests, yeah. But I think move on from that. So that all languages have their own localization have a single, like, so there'd be a single localization plugin, right?
One language match one localization plugin.
Right. So, but there would be one localization plugin for each language, as opposed to for each like core and plugin, each other plugin. So you instead of having a matrix of plugins to languages, you just have one plugin per language.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, so just all languages, each language. Have their own have a single localization plugin that serves. Let's say a single localization plugin.
That should be had. Each language has a single.
Yeah. Each suggest each language has
not high.
Which have future, I guess. Okay, so here we go. In this proposal, each language has, there we go.
Yeah.
Has a single localization plugin, such as.
Okay.
In order to keep all language plugin, okay, so each language plugin, okay, so all language plugins should have the same. What does he mean by have the same style?
Like a directory structure.
Okay. Okay, all language plugins will share a consistent directory structure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so based on a set of conventions.
Yeah.
All localization files should keep the same structure. Okay, so that's what we just said.
Yeah.
Okay. And everyone so they'll be following this guide, the localization guide. Okay. So instead of that, we'll say this. Let's see here.
Good.
Look at this guide. Describes the set of conventions to be followed.
Yeah.
Contributing to the language plugin. Is there a reason we want to do this on a wiki instead of in this JEP?
Sorry?
Is there a reason that we want to describe the set of conventions in a wiki as opposed to in the JEP itself?
Because we already have a Wikipedia page to describe how to do the localization contribution. So I mean, we do not need to describe this again.
Okay. Let me just see. I'm just looking, catching up on this. So this is oh, interesting. Okay. So this translation completeness report, how does that work? What does that do? Is that part of how you're going to test this?
It's not right by me, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Last updated quite a while ago.
Oh.
Okay. So that's not going to help us. All right.
Maybe we need to update the Wikipedia page to update.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Translating references. This is that. So let's see here. What general messages and classes. So this is where is the file structure kind of specified here?
Yeah, it's not. So my idea is we need to update the page to describe how to do the localization.
Okay.
Maybe,
Well,
maybe we add a to-do item to do this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we expect this to be pretty stable, this might be something that we should actually add to the JEP. Like that way, it's part of the design. We know what it's gonna. We know that it's stable, and if someone comes to look at it, they will be able to see. Okay, here's the file structure. The wiki is good for things that we think are going to change or that are kind of variable. But it sounds like that would be more.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
So you mean we need to write the directory structure in here?
That's what I'm thinking. But what I'll do is I'll put a note on it, and we can come back to that in a little while. Like that way.
Okay.
So this is supposed to be an iterative process, and I think I'd like to move this forward as much as we can. Like what you've done. Like it's good to get like a step forward, and then we can iterate from there with some notes. So let me just. That's what I'm looking for. I wanted to grab this.
Maybe you can find find the Chinese localization plugin to see the directory structure.
Okay, so okay, and the localization plugin. Okay, wait, hold on. Everyone could follow this to do the contribution. Okay, so that part's described. Localization plugin naming convention. Here we go. So this is how you would name the plugin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plugin
naming.
Okay. Localization plugin naming convention. Localization language plugin. Is that a period? There we go. Okay. You can add more human readable information in the file, for example, localization. Okay. So a more human readable description.
Yeah. Description.
XML file.
Oh.
So, for example, name. Right. Great. Okay. Cool. You should add. See here as a. Okay.
Dependency.
Yeah. Just making some sections here.
Yeah.
Add. There we go. You should add. So do we want Daniel back to? Is this in Jenkins CI or only in Daniel? Let me just.
Yeah, it's not done for now. Yeah.
Okay.
I should add some to do here.
Yep, I'll just put little warnings, little warning section to do. NCI. NCI. There we go. Please don't add more dependencies if you haven't. Right.
Oh yeah.
Keep the localization plugin as simple. Localization. Extension points. Localization. Implemented. There's only one language. Okay, so only one language is allowed per localization plugin. Is that right?
Yeah.
Plugin. You can add different variants if example of variants.
Language variants.
Do you have an example of this? Is my question.
Like we have simple Chinese and we have Taiwan language, different distriction.
Okay, you can add multiple variants to one. Multiple variants of one language. To a single localization plugin.
Yeah. The however is typo.
What was that?
However,
yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of one language to a single localization plugin if the contributors think it's okay.
Okay. Great.
Just agree to it. Yeah, there we go. There are some points. All right. So what? So points that need translation. Localization from. So.
First. Translation.
Translating. What are we trying to see here? So there's areas that can. This is you're just trying to give a list of what items need translating in each localization plugin. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I mean, which kind of files need to be translated?
Needs what? I don't love that title, but let's move on. Is this a full list? No, this is just a one. This is an example of some of the files, right?
This should be a full list.
Okay. So it's not. This is not some, but each localization. Typing. Plugin should provide translations for the following
Item.
yes, thanks. Oh. All right, so got the motivation.
Maybe we need to remove the everything, just the file types.
I'm not sure. I didn't understand you. Sorry.
I mean, maybe we should remove the head localization from this the two words.
Let's see. Am I in the right? Oh, yes, right. Yes, of course. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Previously, all language files were aggregated in place. Were they actually aggregated in one place? Was it like a? Oh, it was one big localization plugin for all languages. Is that right?
No, I mean, for now, all language files are in one place. Mean like core, Jenkins core, or some plugin. I mean, Chinese or German or English or are in the Jenkins core or
Okay.
some plugin.
Okay. And for each plugin, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you have a link for an example to that? I just want
to. I can't find a link.
This is what you were actually having. So there's.
Link the code, the source code.
Right.
From the Jenkins core.
Yeah. Does this get it? That's the Chinese localization. Just looking for this. So is this the thing that you're working on right now? Yes, of course that's what you're working on right now. Well, don't worry about it right now. It's All right. Type safe message access. All right, we'll get back to it. All right, moving on. That's the other one. There we go. So localization plugin. All right, so there are some drawbacks with that design I wanted to address.
For this, I'll send you a link.
Cool, thank you. What happened there?
I mean, you can find several language.
Perfect. That's great. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
So. Okay. Localization plugins. Target on Jenkins plugin developers. Improve native. And all right. So here was I think what we ran into. We were talking about the reasoning. So.
Wait a minute. Maybe we need link the specific tag about the source code. I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Because the master branch will be changed.
Fine. Wanted to contribute localization. All right, I know what you're trying to say here. It's just going to take me a second to think through it. Design someone might contribute localization, but not have permissions to commit. Same could be said for people to do well, to review submissions. Often it's very slow. The localization plugins. Address those limitations by what? By putting each translation into its own repository.
Plugin. Yeah.
Yeah. Each language into a separate plugin
Repository
with each yeah, let's go with repository. Yeah. Its own repository. So let's see here. That's the translation. Submission. There we go. Submission and review process.
Yeah.
In the improvement. Native language UI experience. So using all languages. Yeah, so let's see here. New speakers manage better. That'll work. Okay. So the thing that I think I commented on, we'll come back to reasoning in a second. The reasoning, what I had commented on was that there was a lot of discussion in those threads that I didn't see mirrored in the reasoning section. So there's a bunch of back and forth, people making suggestions about different design choices and why you might do it one way or another. And I just I wanted to make sure that was documented here. And that's a little harder to explain. Let me give you an example, and I'll go over to the initial discussion here. Let me just pull that up. Okay, so there's this big long thread, which I don't think we can actually get into the entirety of. And you don't need to go through on a email by email basis. It's more like okay, let's see if I can find a good example. Like this attempt to get translation contributions unblocked. So you already covered some of the choices here. More problems when granting permit. Okay. So for instance, no matter how well intentioned, consider plugins as largely independent. Sorry, I'm mumbling a little. Just kind of. So, for example, this comment from Daniel here talks about how we how are we going to decide who we grant permissions to or what, and so some aspect of this should be addressed in the JEP, saying how do we choose, to describe how we choose. So there should be a section either in the reasoning or in the sections in the specification to say. So like there should be a granting access control. So access control. So there should be some description of how we choose who gets control. Is it just like what are we doing? Are we doing it just like a plugin ownership?
Yeah.
In general, is it the same thing? That I don't have an answer to that. That's a question.
Yeah, I don't have the answer for now.
Right, exactly. So,
about the access control is localization plugin access control.
yeah.
Okay.
So, because that's what Daniel was asking about here, right? This how to separate looks. Right. So you were saying you just want to commit faster. I'm catching up on this thread, so I just need to read through this. All right. Much of these is more like, I think some of these questions are going to be ones that end up in the specification, as in how do we decide what we do with an incomplete translation? Are we okay with that, or is there some quality control?
Yeah.
My question for you is did in this thread, were there some design discussions where people suggested other designs than the one that you've chosen?
One opinion is that whether we put our languages like Chinese or Japanese into one localization plugin.
Okay.
But
so that would be that would go in the reasoning. So for example, that would be what would go in here. For example, one localization plugin, one global localization plugin, or one.
Reasoning is a reason or a discuss.
What's that?
This topic like a discussion, not a reason, in my opinion. Because this is a question, not the answer.
Okay, so the question was one or the other, and what you chose was one per language. You should describe why you chose one per language as opposed to one global plugin, and that's where you would put that here, right?
Oh, yes. You just put a question and then write some reason why choose one per language.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking for. So that's the kind of thing that would go in the reasoning section. It's you saying, what you do is you say, we didn't do this, and here's why, right?
Okay.
And the intent of that is so that if someone comes along, a year or two from now and says, well, why don't we have just one? This is so much more complex than it should be. You can point them to the JEP and say, we thought about that. We decided not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay. So basically think about for this, what you want to do is think about the discussion that was had, if there were other design decisions like that, and just put them in here. That's the point of that area. So let's see your backward compatibility. Let's finish off what we got here. I know you want to talk about the testing part too. So let's get, if we get through this in one shot, that'd be great. Thanks for taking the time to do this, by the way.
Okay.
Let's see. So remain all okay. Until target limits. Okay, so all files.
Yeah, exist.
Will be maintained. Maintained until target language is moved into localization plugin.
Yeah.
Actually, until a localization plugin is created for the target language, and all files have been moved.
Yeah.
Okay. In order to give the experience when first installing is going, all localization files should be kept, which so what are you saying here? So the intent here is okay. So we want to have the installation experience, the out of box, that when someone first uses Jenkins work. So
yes.
So all the localization should be kept. Oh, okay. So all right. So for the install wizard, it's going to keep all of its localization files in the install wizard.
Yes.
Okay, got it. In order to all ethics. Experience, all localization files for the install wizard will be kept in the install. So all look. So the all language localizations will be so they'll be present in the language cat. Okay, will be in the length of suggested plugins. Suggested plugins. There we
go. Because the install wizard is in the Jenkins core, so maybe we can change to will be kept in the Jenkins core.
Ah, yes. Okay. In Jenkins core. In order to keep well compatibility, into an add. So this seems like a part of the. This part seems like it's part of the spec as well. There's a help text button for version 1.0, but yes. Fine. Current version language files first, then if it doesn't. Yeah. Was this part of the design or part of the backward compatibility? Okay, let's leave here. That's a detail that I think we can go back and forth on. Maybe in most cases, maintain the latest version. Yes, there's some issues that should arise in the progress. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is great. So change, great. Okay, so the testing part of this, that was what we originally talked about. So let's see here. JUnit test case to make sure that only specific language files placed in a specific plugin. For example. Okay, so then the question that I had was, so what other kind of testing are we going to do? Is there going to be manual testing? We were looking at that Glotter or whatever that was. So yeah, how are we verifying that? And now that you pointed me to this thing, I should have gone and read it first. Is there a translation tools, messages, stapler? That's a completeness report, but doesn't say if it's right. Yeah. So the question that I had was just how is it just basically the maintainers will.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do the test. Maybe the unit test I already described, or manual test.
Well, I mean, it's probably like, so for the JUnit, I think you might just be able to do it for like, okay, you have these files, right? So there's going to be you can look at the file structure, right? And say it can only be within a file structure.
Yeah.
But if not, that's fine too. And this area is very difficult.
Yeah.
Area would be extremely time consuming. And on plugin maintainers and contributors. To, I don't know, review. To Do what? So to I'm trying to think what the right word is here. To maintain the quality of to review all changes carefully.
Yeah. And maybe do some manual test.
Including that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that we're describing it. That was, like I said, it's probably a lot more back and forth than we needed to get to this point. But so yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure, like it's saying that there wasn't any testing. Like, no, there is some testing. It just needs to be done by the maintainers. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. I think that gets us through at least one pass on this. I'll go ahead and.
I have a question. Is we have sorry, wait a minute. We have TBD.
Okay.
Who will be the TBD about this?
To be decided. It's like a
No.
to-do.
BDFL delegate.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. So that means that we a delegate hasn't been chosen yet.
Who chose?
And, did we?
Sorry.
Oh,
can you repeat?
Kosuke needs to. So people need to choose or at least propose a delegate, and then Kosuke needs to agree to it.
Kosuke needed to agree with this.
Yeah. So someone, who do you think would be the delegate for this? Probably maybe Daniel, or maybe Jesse.
Okay. Who? But I don't know who will write his name in here. It's me or someone.
Yeah, you actually. But we'll need to do it as a separate. We'll want to do that as a separate PR so that Kosuke can, click yes on that as a separate thing.
I don't understand the rule of the delegate.
So the role of the delegate is, if we don't have a delegate, then Kosuke has to approve the change. Well, yeah, it has to mark. It will be the one to review it and review the design, review the JEP, and mark it as accepted. And we try not to make it go to him for reviews like that. We want to have the community be more distributed, so have more people doing those.
So the delegate sounds like a mentor or reviewer?
They're the reviewer, yeah.
Okay.
I can point you to the JEP on this if you like. It's basically someone who is an expert in this area, who's also well regarded by the community, and basically it's probably one of the people that were on the discussion thread. One, maybe Oleg, maybe Daniel, maybe Jesse, one of them. I mean, you could be, frankly, you're the one that's leading the Chinese SIG for this. So technically, you could also be the reviewer. But I think it's probably better to have someone else do the reviewing, just so that you have, sort of both at least two viewpoints that say yes, we've really reached consensus.
Can I request you as a delegate?
Yes, I will be happy to do that. But let me commit this and as a separate thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And there we go. Commit those changes. Okay. So, all right. So we made a bunch of changes here. If you're okay, I'll go ahead and accept and merge these with the code.
Actually, I have there is something I need to add. So
okay.
you mean I add this or later
It's up to you.
about the access control?
Right. We can either do it in this PR, or you can open another PR. I like to sort of say, okay, have we agreed on? Are we agreed on
Okay.
this? And then
Yeah,
move forward.
maybe we just merge this PR and I will create another PR about this.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
And that way I can also, you can actually, what you can do is actually you can make a PR. What I would suggest is you make one PR that specifically changes the BDFL to who you think it should be.
Okay.
And then we can get Kosuke to approve that. And at the same time, you can do another PR that's whatever other changes you want to do.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Hey, so any other questions that you want to talk about?
Actually, I have one question. Is we have a list about all the jobs in the README, but I think it's hard to find the interesting topic about the job.
Agreed.
For example, if there is one beginner of Jenkins, he or she want to find some information from the job. Maybe we can put the index or list into Jenkins website or some other place.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Can you open like a Jira issue on the Jenkins on what is it on the website area in Jira for Jenkins?
Okay, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, and then I guess we should bring that to the. Oh, where should we do that? Let's see. We might need to have make some changes to have the JEPs be, well, at the very least, we can get it so that the website, we can design it and pull that over to the website. I think that's fair. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can put them into community or subjects.
Yeah, or
Maybe
something.
community.
But we can,
Yeah.
once we have a website issue for it, we can look at how we want to figure that out. We might create a JEP to talk about how they get moved, how they get pulled into the website.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
By the way,
good.
I totally agree with you. They are hard to. We're getting enough of them now, and they're a little bit hard to find. We should try and find a way to make them more, at least a little easier to browse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe our SIG will translate these jobs later.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
Great. Thanks a lot. Thanks for taking the time to sit and talk through this with me. And I think this is a good example of how this sort of progress can happen.
Yeah.
On JEPs.
Actually, I need to thank you for your time to help me finish the JEP proposal.
Absolutely.
Because my English is still not very good. Maybe, especially the writing.
Yeah.
It's hard for me.
It's hard in general. I wouldn't if I would do even worse if I were trying to write Chinese, I'm sure. So you're doing better than I am. So
I'm just studying English from like last year. So
well,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you again, and I will sign off.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.